right, nice to see so many patriotic faces. Today is a very special day. We have here the privilege of introducing yet 3 incredible freedom fighters who will give their thoughts on what is happening in Europe. I would like to introduce Gavin Bobby. Where are you, Gavin? Of the Freedom and Law Foundation, here with us from England, also called the Mosque Buster, for his excellent work fighting to stop 40 mosques from being built and stopping 30 of those. That's pretty impressive. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Gavin. That is why we call him the Mosque Buster. The other 2 speakers will be our very own Lars Hedegaard. Yeah. Thank you. And the final speaker was supposed to be Ingrid Carlqvist, but unfortunately she fell ill, so she can't be with us today. And instead we have, oh my God, I've gotten lame. Hans Erling Jensen, oh my God, sorry. From the Hatuna Foundation. So, here we stand with thousands of people around Europe declaring that we, the people of Denmark, stand with the people of Europe, united now against the forces of fascism and, in particular, the fascist ideology of Islam. On the 25th of January, I stood, together with PEGIDA UK, before an ocean of patriotic Germans in Dresden and signed the following declaration, the Prague Declaration, on behalf of For Frihed, PEGIDA Denmark. Thank you. The declaration reads as follows. Conscious of the fact that the 1,000-year history of Western civilization could soon come to an end through the Islamic conquest of Europe, and conscious of the fact that the political elites have betrayed us, we, the representatives of the various nations of Europe, declare as follows. We shall not surrender Europe to our enemies. We are prepared to stand and oppose political Islam, extreme Islamic regimes, and their European collaborators. We are prepared to risk our freedom, our property, our occupations and careers, and perhaps also our lives, as generations have done before us. It is our obligation to future generations. We refuse to submit to a European central government. The regulations of the global elites have brought us poverty, unemployment, corruption, chaos, and moral collapse. It is time this came to an end. We respect the sovereignty of European nations and the rights of people in all European countries to govern their affairs as they see fit. We hold it to be a sacred right of the citizens of all European countries to protect their borders and to decide which migrants they accept and which they do not accept into their countries. We call attention to our common European roots, traditions, and values, as well as to the historical alliances of our nations. We are resolved to protect Europe, freedom of speech, and all other civil liberties, as well as our common way of life together. Ladies and gentlemen, a revolution has already taken place in the West while we have been sleeping. 2,000 years of reason has been replaced by cultural Marxism and Islamic supremacy in the form of political correctness. Cultural Marxism and cultural relativism is anathema and lethal to our civilization. We have seen it before in Europe, as we have suffered Franco, Hitler, Mussolini, and other totalitarian despots who have held millions of people in misery and contempt. We in the West have ourselves swallowed a lethal cocktail of arrogance, ignorance, and blindness, but most of all, self-loathing, a loss of self. It is a poisoned cocktail that has been killing us slowly and that is now showing itself by our confused and paralyzed attitudes to what is happening right around us right now. We have lost our pride and forgotten what we are about. And I don't think that we fully understand what it is we are fighting for. It is our freedom, our culture, our very lives. What we are doing here is counter-revolutionary. It is a counter-revolution to undo the quiet revolution that has put us in the situation that we find ourselves in today. We are attempting to right the wrong. We are striving to restore all that we have built and what has made the West the greatest, freest, and fairest place for humanity in all human history. We will turn back the clock and fight for the life that so many have died to create for us. We are here to tell our politicians and the world that we will not be silent and let our beautiful Danish and European culture be laid to waste on the altar of multiculturalism. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, PEGIDA may be the free Europe's best chance. We may well be Europe's last chance for a healthy and non-destructive solution to restore liberal democracy and rule of law in Europe. Should we fail at this attempt, the alternatives left are grim indeed. Sharia, cultural Marxism, or resorting to thugs and extreme right-wing repression, aka the strong man. All of which lead to conflict, regret, and the rapid erosion of freedom. We will not let that happen. Thank you. And without further ado, I will hand over the mic to Gavin Bobby. Give him a hand.
Thank you. Thank you for that introduction. My name is Gavin Bobey. We stop mosques from being built and we win. We've slowed the tide. Eventually we will stop the tide, and then after that we will turn the tide. You can do the same, and we want you to, because Europe remembers the Danes, the Danish people, as Europe remembers the Danish people and the courage and decency shown by ordinary Danish people under occupation during World War II. That is a good example to the rest of Europe, that the rest of Europe is grateful for and has not forgotten. We want you to show that again. We need that this time, because the problems we're seeing with Islam, those are not the things like the sexual attacks in Cologne, the sexual slavery in England, massacres in Paris. Those are not just about crime, they are about Islamic doctrine, the Quran, the Hadith and the Sirah. That's the permanent word of Allah, and that is the source code of Islamic doctrine. And that is interesting if you look at it in the light of the UN, the United Nations Convention on Genocide. Now that is the founding definition of genocide within international law, and it comprises two things. Okay? It comprises two things. First of all, there's the intent to destroy a group. Secondly, any one of 5 genocidal acts. Now firstly, the intent to destroy a group. That group in this context is the non-Muslim, the kuffar. Verse after verse of the Quran tells Muslims that they should destroy that group and replace it with Islam through terror, war and destruction. Now, I'll read 2 verses of the Quran here. There are loads, I could go on, but verse 8:39, fight them until religion should be only for Allah. Or again, verse 2:193, and fight them until religion is only for Allah. These are not random quotes, they are part of a systemic doctrine, and that intent is to eventually make Islam worldwide the only religion, destroying other religious groups, the non-believer. 51% of the Quran, Hadith and Sirah deals with the kuffar. Secondly, the 5 genocidal acts. These are firstly, killing, serious harm, destructive conditions of life, preventing births and transferring children. Now, I want to deal with those and what Islam has to say about those. Firstly, killing. Now, I'll quote just one verse here, I could quote many. Verse 2:191, kill them wherever you find them and drive them out from whence they drove you out. This goes on and on. The Quran repeatedly tells Muslims to kill the kuffar, quotes, wherever you find them. That is the context right there. 24% of the Medina Quran is about jihad. That is genocidal within the definition of the United Nations Convention on Genocide. Secondly, serious bodily or mental harm to the unbelievers as a group. Again, I've only got time to quote one Quran verse here, and that's verse 8:12. I will cast terror into the hearts of those who